Yo, YouTube, what it is, what it is. Welcome back to another video. You already know what time it is. Definitely wanted to tap in on this Friday evening and things of that nature going into the Shabbat. Today was definitely a rainy day out here, on the DRC, and things of that nature. And I'm saying I was, most of the time in the crib, so I figured I'd tap in and things of that nature. Make this video. And I just want to speak, in between the lines of like, being different. You know what I'm saying? And how like if you're a person that, what I mean, to a certain degree, you different. Like, and you gonna know you different because it's like, what I mean, when it comes to individuals that are different, they just have their own uniqueness about them. You know what I'm saying? They have their own special way about them. They have their own swag, and a lot of the times, these types of individuals, like if you happen to be one, it's like people will try to go out of their way to, figure you out and things of that nature, and just to, figure you out as a person and things of that nature. Try to, figure all your moves out and what I mean, and ins and out about your life and things of that nature. And pretty much it's like, yo, man, there's nothing wrong with being different. You know what I'm saying? And this is something that I've been dealing with since a young man, growing up and things of that nature, especially when I was, in the States and things of that nature. Like, I was always different. Not to the point where it's like, what I mean, on some weird type of stuff, but it's just like, what I mean? Like, I never was the type of person that would follow the crowd. I was always the type of person that would carve out my own lane and just, walk my own lane out and do what I do. And that's just the type of person I always been. And at the same time, I always just been seen as just the odd one or just the different one because, I'm a very picky individual. You know what I mean? I'm very picky and things of that nature. I have my own way of doing things, down to, the things in which I like to eat and all of that. I'm a very picky individual. You know what I'm saying? And I feel as though like all of these types of different type of traits in which a lot of those in which the Most High has set apart, um, are traits in which the Most High have blessed us with to be able to stand out in a world where most of the time most people be following after, certain trends or the latest trend. Where most people are following after the herd and would rather, fit in, would rather, be a part of the crowd instead of like taking a different route and just being themselves, right? Taking a different route and just being themselves and not being afraid to stand out being different. You know what I'm saying? So like, yo, if you happen to be that type of person, like, yo, embrace your differences. Like, you know what I'm saying? Embrace your differences. You know what I mean? It is what it is. People may look at you funny. People may, you know, look at you a certain way, but it's like, I just come to the point where it's like, you have to meet people where they at. And a lot of the times it just takes for us to interact with people and to communicate with people and to speak to them and to kind of meet them where they at so that they can understand us. So a lot of the times, it's not a scenario situation to where, you just got you have to pretty much um not just deal with people, cut people off and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Like, nah, like, you know what I'm saying? And, this is, It's like I'm beginning to understand like how Christ was when he was amongst um just the people. Like, what I'm saying? Some of the people in which he healed and some of the people in which he preached to. And how he was able to navigate being amongst them. Like, it had to be scenarios, a situation to where he wasn't judgmental. Like, what I'm saying? He wasn't judging these individuals despite their flaws. And, I believe that's a better way to be a light unto another person, you know what I mean, and to win souls, you know what I'm saying? You don't like come if you when you come off religious and stuff like that, and you just come off like, you holier than thou, or I'm high and mighty when you're not, and you know what I mean? Like a lot of the times, like it's gonna be hard for you to relate with individuals. It's going to be hard for you to relate with people. And a lot of the times, especially when you constantly growing and you constantly elevating, you know what I mean? The more you grow and the more you elevate, you know what I mean, to a certain degree, it do become hard to relate with people because some of the things in which people may be dealing with or some of the circumstances in which people may be in, it's like you can no longer relate to that. Why? Because the Most High have delivered you from uh, certain vices or certain circumstances, and he have propelled you to a much more uh, higher standard, right? And things of that nature. So you begin to see the world a lot more differently, and you begin to just move a lot more differently. Why? Because you're operating at a high vibration, you're operating at a high frequency, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you constantly growing. So it's like instead of always being up here, like you have to know how to condescend and deal with people on a level in which they on. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the times, you know what I'm saying, like that's the best way to really like win people over and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you don't gotta always come off with, with scriptures or let me go to this precept, this and that when it comes to sharing the word or sharing the gospel or being a light to the world. A lot of the times, most of the time, like I said, when it comes to being when you different and the Most High have set you apart from the world in your own unique way, he gave us special traits to be able to utilize as far as being ourselves to be able to win people over. And a lot of the time that's the best way to do things. You know what I'm saying? And this is something, you know, I'm learning as well. You feel me? As I'm just going about life and I'm going about my walk with Christ and just this journey and this path in which I'm on. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause lately, like, I haven't been up here. Like you know what I mean? And I'm just at a point where like I don't really care too much about YouTube, but um when the spirit do lead me to like, give a message or something like that, like, you know what I mean? I'm going to use that moment in time to just give the message, you know what I'm saying? And to speak whatever the spirit puts on my mind to speak and things of that nature. And really what I'm trying to say is, it's like, you have to also learn how to detach. You have to learn how to like get off these phones, get off these apps, get off social media and go back to how things used to be, as far as when people used to interact with people and have human interactions and things of that nature. These things are important. These things are still prevalent where I'm at, like in Africa and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? You don't, most of the time you'll see people on their phones and they scrolling and all of that. But most of the time people are connecting with one another. People are speaking to one another. And you know what I mean? It's that human and human interaction that is missing, especially if you're in a place like the West. Why? Because most people are in their homes. Most people don't really interact with people outside of their social confines, whether it be via social media, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And to a certain degree, whether you know it or not, you have become a bot. You know what I'm saying? You have become a bot, different than a bot. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you got to get off these apps, man, and go back to how things used to be. And when you do that, you know what I mean? You're going to see another side to you that you thought didn't exist. So I ain't want this video to be too long. That's what it is. All right, until next time.